Today, we are going to compare two 50mm lenses. They are both called the Summilux, but this one, the left one, is a Leica Summilux lens. The right one is called the Japanese Summilux, which is also 50mm f1.4. So I'm going to talk about these lenses one by one. Let's just talk about the Leica lens first. So the one I'm having here is a current Leica 50mm Summilux ASPH spherical, and it has a new barrel design, and also it has a built-in hood. So what you need to do is just pull it out and twist it. That's it. It's already locked. And so I also remember there's a special edition of the 50mm Summilux, which has the original barrel design of the first generation Summilux, but that one you need to attach a separate hood onto it, which is not very convenient. And also because of the original design, there's no focusing tab. I realized that nowadays when I focus, I use the focusing tab more and more, and it's very convenient to use it. Also, when I buy this lens, I also compare the 50mm APO, which is out of my budget, and that one also has a focusing tab. And also for the regular 50mm f2 Leica lens, there is no focusing tab. This one is actually my very first lens that I bought from the Leica store. When I was choosing my camera and also looking for a lens, I was originally looking for a 35mm Summicron because it's actually cheaper, and also I like the 35mm, the view of the 35mm lenses. But the Leica store's staff, there are 4 staff, and 2 of them, they said that their favorite lens is actually this piece here. So I became very curious about this lens. And for this lens, there are 2 different colors. One is this one silver, slightly more expensive than the black one. And also the silver one is made of brass, so it's a little bit more heavy than the black one. Other than that, the optical structure, they are the same. And one thing I don't like about this lens here is a barrel design. It's just literally a barrel, and there's no shape to say. It's just a straight barrel. That's something I don't like about it. And also because it's actually slightly long. That's why when I mount it to my Leica cameras, it's going to lean towards the lens a bit. But other than that, I'm actually very satisfied with the performance of this lens, because this one is my very first Leica lens and my very first mount lens. And at that point, I didn't realize how good this lens is, and I kept it in my box. Actually, I put it away for over 1 year without using it much, because I keep focusing on the vintage lenses more and more. And since like 1 or 2 months ago, I started to pull this lens out. I realized how good it is. So whenever I want to take some pictures, I want the reliability and I want to know I can get good result. I'll just take this lens out. I know I can get something from this one. And also the focus tab is super convenient, and the focus is very smooth as all other Leica lenses. And the largest aperture is f1.4, and the smallest one is f16. And actually you can hear the click, and it is very easy to stop in between 2 aperture speeds, and there's an actual stop between 2.4 and 4 actually. Yeah, here it is. And then let's take a look at the Canon lens. This Canon lens was made in the 50s or the 60s. So this one is a modern lens. So there's no direct comparison for the performance, but the people always talk about those lenses together. So I just want to compare them. And also you can see the Leica lens is actually longer, and this one is 491 grams, and the one on my right hand side is 275 grams, so it's much lighter. Yeah, at this point I want to talk about one thing I like about these lenses and one thing I don't like about these lenses. This one is made of brass, which I really like, but the weight is actually too much. And the right hand side, the weight, I actually like it. But the barrel, the focusing barrel is made of alloy. So here it is. It's just like touching something slightly better than plastic. I just don't like that sound. So I'm actually conflicting with myself. I like the brass made lenses, but I don't like the weight. So it means that there is no perfect lens. You just need to choose something and sacrifice something. For this lens here, I need to use a heavier lens, but I know I can get a good result. And let's talk about this lens here. So the Canon lens, this is a relatively early one, and there's an infinity lock, just like the very first Leica 50mm Summilux. And during the 50s and 60s, the Japanese camera manufacturers, they like to copy some European brands. That's not to use the word copy. They like to learn something from the European brands and do some modifications and also improvements. This lens here is actually a very good lens. And the speed is from F1.4 all the way to F22. And the closest focus distance is 1 meter, the same as a lot of early lenses, even include the Leica. And the current modern lens is usually, for the Leica lens, the closest focusing distance is 0.7 meter. This lens here it's very easy to find because they made actually a lot of those, and they are not very expensive and in a very nice scale. Like for the 50mm 0.95, yes, it is a good lens, but it's heavy, it is large, and just like the one I'm having here, it's actually in the original LTM mount, which is a different LTM mount comparing to Leica, so I still need to send it out to modify the mount. It is called a dream lens. That's the reason why I buy it, but definitely this lens is more expensive than this one. But the 50mm f1.4 is much more practical. If you just mount it onto a Leica camera, it is actually a very good size and you are going to use it. But for this kind of lens, it is not easy to carry it around and you need to keep protecting it. And also, these kind of lenses, they're all made as the L39 LTM mount. So it's very easy to convert with a very, like this piece here. I just bought a very cheap adapter and it is just fine, actually. It's very nice to use on the Leica M mount cameras. It is good enough for me. And I think now it's time to compare the optical quality of these two lenses. I'll just put out, I actually just mount my camera on the tripod and use the focus distance as 1 meter to compare directly and also I take pictures of all the f-stops to compare them, but I won't tell you guys which side is the Leica lens and which side is a Canon first. You can just take a guess. So as we can see through all those pictures, actually the left side is a Canon, the right side is a Leica lens. And at all aperture stops, the Leica lens is a better performer for sure. The center and also the corner resolution and the sharpness, this lens is so sharp compared to this one. And it's not fair to compare because this one is a vintage lens. It is already very good. And this lens here has much more, it actually has more contrast, and the distortion control is better because it's a modern lens for sure. But what I'm surprised is the bokeh from this lens. It is actually very good. And I think they are just like the different lenses. I don't like to compare the vintage lenses directly to the modern lenses. And also I think every single lens, they have different character and they are made for a special purpose. So sometimes people like to compare them because they want to choose one to make a purchase. But sometimes I just don't like to compare. And this lens here, because I like it so much, so I actually bought two. The copy that I'm having here is actually the one I put into my collection, so it's not the daily beater. So the optical condition is very good. There's not even a scratch or not even a hairline, and there's no haze. And one stop down, there's no oil for sure. But recently I find that I just have more and more lenses. This lens has been sitting in my humidity control box for over 2 years, and I already sold the other daily beater of this lens. So I'm kind of want to downsize my collection a bit to have only the ones I'm going to use and I really like, and I'm going to let go of this lens because I want someone to take a good use of it. I have a very good copy of this lens here, and it is a very good lens. It is made to take pictures. So I want someone to use it on a daily basis or just use it much more often than me to take a good use of it. I don't want to waste it, to let it just sit in my humidity control box for years and years. So this lens here is actually sold already. I'm going to send it out after 2 days. So I just want to make a video to remember this one. And thank you everyone for watching my channel. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know. And also, it is one of my favorite lens, actually both of them. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day.